The cornerstone of Utah's restaurant, food, and hospitality community is rooted in craft. Locally produced food and beverages curated with care, by hand, with your experience in mind. Care isn't something you just take off the shelf or pick up at the store. It's born in the kitchen, cultivated through mindful practice, and offered with intention. Yet, it's something you taste, an unassuming ingredient that invites you to slow down, savor the moment, appreciate the people you're with, the time, the place, a feeling of being a part of something a little bigger than yourself. And let me tell you, you are an integral part of Utah's food and restaurant family, one of the most essential components, whether you dine out daily, weekly, monthly, or even yearly. It's you, the guest, who inspires Utah chefs, restaurateurs, and hospitality professionals to continue innovating, creating unique and inspiring dining experiences. This week, we're honoring community cultivators, and there's nothing sweeter or more tart, depending on the season, than exploring Utah's wine country. That's right, wine country at Spanish Valley Vineyards in Moab. But first, we're visiting Utah County to discover the unexpected oasis that is Ginger's Garden Cafe, where food nourishes the mind, body, and spirit through connecting good food and great people. Remember, wherever your travels take you in this great state, there's a restaurant and food experience waiting for you. You always have a seat at our table. This week on Taste Utah. Ginger's Garden Cafe in Springville began as a simple apothecary focused on helping people live well through the power of herbs. Inspired by the community she was cultivating, General Manager Bobby Henderson felt the natural next step was to teach people how food can be medicine too. And then she created a space for yoga and physical wellness, a groovy shop upstairs to explore alternative medicines and healing like crystals. She grew a garden with fresh herbs in the back and a bookshop where Eastern wisdom tradition, Western science, and self-help all line the shelves. Let's just say here, nourishing the body goes hand in hand with nourishing the soul. It's evolved into a space where you're invited to connect through the threads of holistic well-being. Ginger's Garden Cafe, how long has it been in operation?
20 years.
20 years?
October, yep.
Okay, and you've managed it the whole time?
Since 2005.
When you came into it, what was your vision? Was it already kind of there, or?
So I grew up eating very healthy. My mom manufactured herbal products here at Nature's Way. So
no way.
My life was smelling valerian root on her clothes. And
oh, wow.
I have an uncle who's a master gardener, so I would eat wonderful food at his house all the time.
Oh my gosh.
So when I heard it was opening inside the herb shop, which I had visited many times, I was so excited.
Yeah.
I was a regular customer, always promoting it, and then I actually moved to Phoenix and took a job out there, and I got a phone call from the manager here, and he said, "It's not working, we're gonna have to close it." But I thought you would want a chance. I came right home, pregnant.
Oh my gosh.
Ready, took it over. I said, no, Utah County needs this place. So the shop was founded in 1969.
Okay.
Dr. Christopher had been compounding formulas for people just on his own, and the demand became so great that he started the shop.
I love it, like an original apothecary.
Yes. We had people taking the herbs and then going home and eating the standard diet, and we felt like it would be fun to show them how to eat the way we're always talking about.
And you sort of have the saying, eat well, feel well,
yeah.
which is super important.
Yeah.
And food is nourishment, it's sustenance for our bodies, but it can also be soothing to the soul. It can comfort us in ways like what you have in front of you right now.
So beautiful.
Yeah, tell us what it is.
Yeah, so our vegan nachos.
Okay.
We make our nacho cheese a little bit different. We use nutritional yeast and oat milk.
Ooh.
So you have your B vitamins, a complete protein, and then the vegan ranch dressing is amazing in place of the sour cream.
Oh my gosh.
We prep all of our veggies fresh. We don't buy anything pre-diced or sliced or, yeah.
Tell me what we have in front of me.
Okay, so this is our half and half special.
Okay.
So you have the FLT.
Okay.
The bacon on there is really fun.
That is so good.
Sun-dried tomatoes and sunflower seeds, and we just roll it out and dehydrate it into, beautiful crunchy bacon.
Let's move on to this and tell me what we've got here.
So the half falafel salad.
Okay.
Our falafel balls are a 2-day process.
2 days, okay.
Yeah, we soak the beans dry, and then the herbs are all prepared ahead of time. And then we food process the beans. One of the tricks we found is freezing it. Really helps it fry better later.
You can bake a falafel, but there's nothing quite like the crunch of like a fried falafel. I love
oil,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so
And
yummy.
we do use good oil, so safflower.
Cucumbers, red onion, tomatoes.
Wonderful greens that we get. We have 2 sources.
Okay.
So a farmer in Santaquin provides our spring mix often.
Okay.
And when she's out or it's hot or she's sold at all the farmer's market, we use Earthbound Farms. They're
Love
one
it.
of our favorite. Mm-hmm. And then the dressing is curry cilantro.
It's so good.
It's so
like
good.
that is like something I could just be drinking by the bottle.
Yes.
I won't because I think it would gross people out, but it is like so good. Do you sell it like by the bottle?
Yeah.
Oh my
gosh. And our
gosh.
vegan ranch also.
And then tell me about these.
The raw crackers it's made a similar way the bacon is made. Mm-hmm. We like to grind our flaxseed.
Okay.
A lot of the raw crackers have the whole flaxseed, which is good, but I find them all over my teeth.
Yeah,
so
they get caught in the teeth.
We decided let's try grinding it, and I feel like you can access more of the fats once it's ground.
Talk to us a little bit about the breads that you use for your sandwiches.
Right now we have two breads.
Okay.
So we always relied on a local baker here in Springville.
Great.
She retired.
Okay.
So lucky for her.
Oh.
So we found a new baker. You can see some of his stuff over there in the shop.
It up there,
He does a really cool triple fermentation on his sourdough.
Oh, no way.
Time Travelers Bakery is who they are.
Okay.
They produce a great product.
That's amazing.
So we use his sourdough. And then this is a whole wheat ciabatta from Stone Ground in Salt Lake.
We love Stone Ground. We featured them, I think, on our first season of Taste Utah because
I love that.
Stone Ground is also one of those companies, like you said, that is doing it right. So they're not adding a ton of preservatives. Right. They really are creating at scale, which is pretty incredible. All of the ways that they service not just the restaurant community, but even just local customers, households.
They're a Utah staple.
Yeah, and they really do care. I just think what they do at scale is phenomenal.
It really is.
You've got to love being so close to Santaquin and Payson and some of these areas that are just known for their agriculture.
Oh, the fruit orchards are amazing.
Okay, tell us about the desserts.
Sure. So this baker, her name is Emily. She has a company called Baked. She actually cashiers for me in the herb shop a few days a week.
Wow, okay.
Because she loves it here. Vegan cake is her thing. She makes incredible, I don't know how she does it. The frostings are amazing.
I mean, it looks amazing. What kind is that?
Chocolate matcha.
Chocolate matcha.
Yeah. And then the raw pie is from Fresh Melissa. She's another local creator. This pie is interesting. It's macadamia nuts and avocado.
Ooh.
It's a key lime pie. So,
key lime.
Yeah, avocado's the base, which gives it a nice
creamy texture.
Texture, yeah. And then macadamia nuts on the bottom. And she uses coconut oil, and the sweetener is a little agave.
Did you grow up wanting to be in restaurants?
I think I always knew I would create community spaces. Mm-hmm. I was that kid who would get the whole neighborhood together to play games, I was always organizing.
Yeah.
I think food made sense. Also loving natural healing and just people taking responsibility for their own health. And that's always been a passion. So
I love it.
This was just such an easy shoe to put on. Yeah.
We're back at Ginger's Cafe in Springville, where General Manager Bobby and her whole team are encouraging you to understand how to be a steward of your own well-being. You have the largest herbal selection in Utah, which is amazing.
We're proud of it.
Yeah, absolutely, and you should be. And it's fun. You have also incense. There's a little bit of Eastern wisdom traditions that's interwoven through the space as well.
Yeah, we have a master herbalist.
Okay.
Her name's Wendy Blake. She's amazing.
Okay.
She studied a lot of different styles of herbology, Western, Eastern, energetics. Yeah, we want to hit all the points of health: emotional health, spiritual health, mental health, physical health. It all has to go together.
Yeah, which is so nice. You have a bookshelf of, you were saying, local Utah authors, and then I even noticed some of, my heroes like Ellen Langer, who's one of the most, she's the mother of modern mindfulness, but she is a tenured professor at Harvard. And sitting right next to Jim Quick, who, is also has sort of mastered mindfulness from a traumatic brain injury perspective. So it's really nice and really fun. I visit a lot of different spaces, and I know that there are ways to just bring things in. There are workarounds to cut costs and cut corners. I think what's so exceptional about what you have created and what you continue to create is you're allowing it to evolve and evolve alongside the community that's evolving with you. And as you grow, so does the business, so does Ginger's Garden Cafe, which I think is really special. Last question that I have is, who is Ginger? Because you are Bobby.
Yes. Been called Ginger many times.
I'm sure you
I had the red hair to go with it for a while. So Ginger is Dr. Christopher's youngest granddaughter.
Okay.
Yeah. And she is a gem of a human.
Oh.
And the family named the cafe after her. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So Ginger Christopher,
Bobby, what you are creating, what you are growing, the people that are working for you, the team that is in this space, it really is so special. It's unlike any place I've really ever been. You're a wealth of knowledge, but also just have a pure desire to connect and support. And I think you're just knocking it out of the park.
Thank you.
And I cannot wait to continue to come back and enjoy this space.
I love it. Thank you.
And I probably need to go find some ice to put this over so I can chug it.
Definitely have to send you home some dressing.
Well, this has just been so special. Just thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, of course. Cheers.
It's so fun.
We're heading to Spanish Valley Vineyard in Moab, where the team is breaking new ground, both literally and figuratively, by growing grapes in the East Desert's challenging soil. Here, winemaking is an art, and every bottle tells the story of Utah's unique terroir. The team invites you to sit down in the vineyard and enjoy the fruits of their labor, both the liquid kind and through unique dining experience, which is exactly what we're doing. Join us as we explore the beautiful marriage of food, wine, along with the land and people that make it all possible. Tell me a little bit about what's in front of us in Spanish Valley Vineyard, and what is this kind of amazing food/wine experience you're offering?
You can call and arrange a private tasting and menu. We have a few different private chefs we work with. Adam here has been our star so far.
Awesome.
We're hoping to do a lot more events with him. We also have more kind of planned out public events where you can just buy a ticket on a kind of sort of a date night sort of idea. We'll have some live music, some performers, be right here in the vines, our locally grown wine, and with Adam's amazing food.
Adam, what have you prepared for us? What's in front of us?
Here we have some watermelon gazpacho soup, and then here we have a traditional saffron gnocchi with brown butter and sage, and a little bit of cracked pepper and Parmesan. And then here I made some chorizo that I poached and some of the Merlot from the winery here.
Oh, how fun, cool.
Yeah, I like to incorporate the wines when I can into the dishes. And then this is a traditional tapas style shrimp with lemon and garlic.
Beautiful.
And then we have just some charcuterie here, just some artisan cheeses. This is a goat's cheese that has truffle mushrooms in it.
Yum.
And then this is a cheese from Wisconsin that's kind of a Parmesan that they add a bunch of butter to, and that's got a Merlot brine to it.
Wow.
And then we've got just some speck ham and a little bit of salami. And then there's some pickles here. These are pickles that I made, some beets and some artichoke hearts and some cucumber pickles.
So you're doing fresh pickling in-house?
Yeah, I try to do a lot of preserving and pretty much everything from scratch and source as much as I can from local farms, like Easy Bee down the road.
Yeah.
And there's some good farms in Castle Valley. So.
Yeah, there's some really wonderful farmers in Moab, which is super unexpected, I think.
Yeah.
Especially grape farmers.
Yes.
Like Russ.
Right?
I think when people hear, like, oh, people are making wine down in Moab, you might
be somewhat skeptical.
Yeah, understandably so, right? There's only a small handful of wineries in the whole state of Utah.
Yeah.
But I think that's sort of having actually a positive effect on the industry here, since it is such a difficult environment. Anybody who's making wine out here is really passionate about it.
How long have these vines been in the soil?
We have some of the oldest in the state.
Okay.
Back in the 1970s, the mid-70s, these were planted actually, some of the original Riesling vines and the Gewürztraminer vines.
Okay.
And we've added a few other varieties over the years since then. In the 90s, we added a few blocks of Cabernet and Syrah.
Okay.
But one of the other advantages is we don't have a lot of the usual grapevine pests that you'd find in wetter regions. So we're actually on all the original rootstock still on all these varieties, yeah.
That's pretty amazing. So talk to us a little bit about your growing season down here. I imagine it's a little different.
There's not a lot of data on it, right?
Yeah.
You can't just look up the historical database
Right?
of Utah wines. It doesn't exist. So we kind of just go by a lot more intuition and just kind of looking at the weather and feeling the ground, seeing how much water's in there. So it's a long season, right?
Yeah.
We don't have bud break. Is pretty early, and around April 1st, we usually start seeing some life come back into them.
Okay.
And we'll start harvesting sometime in late August or September.
Yeah, and what does the having that high heat temperature, how does that affect the grapes? How does that affect the taste?
They love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Between the high heat and the sunshine, and also just the type of soil we have out here, very alkaline sandy, we get a lot of really strong mineral content coming out.
Okay.
And a lot of really high acid happening in our grapes, which typically you might find in a colder region.
Yeah.
But we're actually so hot out here that the photosynthesis on the grapes shuts down as well at the high temperatures we have, so helping preserve that acid more than you'd expect.
What's some of the science of growing the grapes?
It can be as simple as you want, or you can have 5 different PhDs in it, right?
Right.
So we just look for a few parameters on our science side, just the Brix level, the amount of sugar going on in the grape, and we also keep track of the different acidities in it as well, a few different acids that we monitor. But that's about it, aside from just general soil health, of course, and looking for diseases like any farmer would.
Right.
But we're much more on that kind of art intuition side out here.
That's so cool, and I think this whole experience is really commendable. And I'm curious, Adam, is there anything that you really love about creating a food or culinary experience that supports a particular wine or tasting experience for someone?
Yeah, it's a fun challenge it kind of helps me shape the menu, and it just kind of is an extension of my love of wine.
What is harvest like here? Do you invite people to come and partake or participate, or?
So harvest is just a non-stop flurry of activity. It's 12-hour days, for 3 or 4 weeks long. We do bring in a number of people to help out with that.
How many bottles of Spanish Valley Vineyard wines are you bottling?
So we'll do 6 or 7 bottlings throughout the season.
Okay.
Generally this time of year is really nice for it, since the vines have been pretty well taken care of. We're just kind of letting them alone right now to start ripening and growing, so we have a lot of free time. Plus it's hot out, so it's not so bad to be stuck inside bottling all day right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we can knock out 100 to 200 cases a day on a full day bottling like this, which for a larger winery, it would take you all of an hour with a fully automated line. But as you saw in our production room there, it's all by hand. We're doing 1,800 bottles today, and we've got a crew of 6 in there. Each one of us has to pick up every single one of those bottles.
We have to get out into the vineyard, yeah? Should we go have a conversation, just talk a little bit more about growing, and then, come back and get some of this food?
Yeah, sounds like a plan to me.
Awesome, let's do it.
Excellent.
All right, so Russ, we're in the field. We're standing in front of some grapes. What's the variety here?
This is our block of Cabernet, actually.
Okay, this is Cabernet, and they just have not yet taken on the sort of reddish hue that they traditionally would.
That reddish hue that you would associate with a red grape, that's not going to happen for a few more weeks. It's veraison, we call that.
Veraison.
It's the beginning of the ripening, where it changes from this kind of green, hard berry. It becomes more of that juicier, redder, sweeter grape.
How do you keep tabs on them? How do you doctor them, so to speak?
The water is what's really important to keep an eye on. So we're set up on drip irrigation here.
And that's kind of what you're hearing is that,
that comforting
that
drip
in the
drop.
wind, yeah.
In the wind,
Which is nice.
All the elements.
I'll take that breeze
The
all
wind
day
feels
long.
great right now.
Yeah.
It's only 100 and some degrees.
Yep. Knock it down to a nice ball.
We do this for you. No, just kidding. And so just kind of make sure that you're watering them enough.
Yeah, watering them enough. We do give them a bit of a haircut a few times a year.
Okay.
On the wilder roads, if you try to walk down in the middle here, it's like going through a jungle. You need a machete.
Yeah.
So these have sort of been trimmed back a little and
they're really nice.
neatly combed back. But they're pretty resilient. They can take care of themselves for the most part.
Okay.
There are a few predators we keep an eye on as well. Leaf hoppers and some mildews can take place even in this driving environment.
Okay.
But if it all goes well, they don't really need much at all.
You have this tool in your hand. Tell me what this is.
So this is the one little bit of science that we do like to keep a pretty close eye on with these.
Okay.
This lets me know how much sugar is in the grape.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's pretty early in the season still, so we wouldn't expect to see a whole lot.
Yeah.
But it's easy to check, so I will go out once a week, even this early, and start checking those levels.
Okay.
As we get closer to harvest, I'll be out here every day.
Wow.
Because they'll be changing every day.
Yeah.
Choosing that perfect day to harvest is pretty much the most important thing that we do all year. And so this tool is really invaluable in
Wow.
that. I just crush that and rub it right on here.
Wow.
And I hold it up to the sunlight, which we've got plenty of.
Okay.
And you can't really see it on camera too well, but there's a little graph in here.
Okay.
And the way the light bends through this window here will change depending on how much sugar is in that juice.
That is so cool. So what do you hope to see at this point in the season?
So right now we're sitting at about 4 bricks, it looks like, on
Okay.
here, which is basically just the percent of sugar. So this is 4% sugar
Okay.
by weight right now.
Where do you want it to be?
I'm gonna wanna harvest this somewhere between 23 and 26 bricks is our ideal.
Now you said we're middle of the season. How often are you adding bricks to that sweetness or that sugar content?
It's gonna stay stable until that ripening period starts to happen, that raison. We always say the wine is made in the vineyard. As the winemaker, it's really just your job not to screw it up.
It's just this beautiful collaboration, the synergy with the earth. You get to respect where your food comes from. You get to learn and grow and be together. And yeah, it's hot. And at the end of the day, you know you've put in a hard day's work. And that's really what farming, I think, is all about. It's what restaurant chefs would say their work is all about as well. So it's beautiful to see that synergy and mirrored in something like a bottle of wine that's grown in Utah, that's aged in Utah, and that's bottled in Utah. You're just giving us another reason to be proud to live here.
Definitely.
Yeah, we are proud to live here.
Yay. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.